Kaju Katli Eggless Cake is a perfect Indian fusion of tradition and modern. Warm, fresh Kaju Katli is sandwiched between two cake layers. This cake looks stunning and will be the showstopper at your next party. Before we get started on the cake, we need to prep by making sugar syrup, sifting the cashew flour, and making the whipped cream icing. Sugar syrup is made by boiling sugar and water in equal quantities for just 2 minutes. The leftover syrup can be kept in the fridge and used for other cakes. The syrup keeps the cake layer soft and moist. Next, we will sift the cashew flour. Cashew flour is available on Amazon and grocery stores, though not as common as almond flour. I had tried making Kaju Katli once without sifting, and the Kaju Katli was really granular. You can also grind the cashews in a coffee grinder, but be cautious as nuts leave oil and they can turn into nut butter very quickly. Now we will prepare our whipped cream icing. We need heavy whipping cream for this as this has a higher fat content than the normal cream. All ingredients are at room temperature except for heavy whipping cream which stays chilled in the refrigerator. The milk powder and the confectioner sugar both help to stabilize the cream for icing. After the soft peak stage, beat the cream at the lowest setting as it can go very quickly from cream to butter. Once we reach stiff peak stage, the whipped cream icing is ready. Put it in the refrigerator while we make the cake. For the cake, preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees centigrade. We will use two 6-inch pans. Brush oil on the bottom and sides of the pan. Put some parchment paper for easy release. Let's make our elaichi flavored eggless cakes now. Sift the dry ingredients, the flour, baking soda, elaichi or green cardamom powder, salt and sugar. This cake has no eggs, so the softness to this cake comes from the reaction between baking soda and white vinegar. So it's very important to use very good quality baking soda. Add the wet ingredients, the oil, warm water, vanilla extract and white vinegar, adding vinegar right at the end. Vinegar leaves no aftertaste and you will be surprised how soft and moist this cake turns out. With the spatula, mix the wet ingredients gently, breaking any lumps with the spatula. This cake batter is thinner than the usual cake batter. Divide the batter equally between the two pans. Bake for 25 minutes or till a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. Leave the cake in the baking tins for 15 minutes to cool on a wire rack. Release the cake by running a knife around the edges. Remove the parchment paper and let the cake cool completely. Once cool, use the sharp serrated knife to level the cake and remove the dome shape on top. Put a spoonful of icing on a serving plate. This acts as glue to keep the cake in place. Put one cake cut side up and put 5 to 6 teaspoons of sugar syrup on it. Now we will make the Kaju Katli. We need only 4 ingredients: cashew flour, full fat milk powder, unsalted butter, and condensed milk. In a cold pan, put 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. You can use ghee, though I have never tried with ghee. Add half a can or 200 grams of condensed milk. Now turn on the heat and cook till the butter melts. Turn off the heat once the butter has melted. Add the sifted cashew flour and the milk powder and mix till it comes together like a soft dough. When I'm looking for a quick dessert for pujas, prasad or even for parties, I make this Kaju Katli. I sometimes just shape it into laddus when I'm in a big rush and they turn out to be super soft and delicious and a real quick dessert to make when I'm in a rush. While the dough is still warm, use your hands to shape and put a thick layer of Kaju Katli on the cake. Break the dough to cover the cake. It doesn't have to be perfect as it will be getting covered by the other cake in any case. Do make sure that it is level though by rubbing a flat bowl or a cup over some parchment paper. An even layer of filling ensures that our cake is going to stay straight and will not tilt over. Put 5 to 6 teaspoons of sugar syrup on the other cake as well. Apply a thin layer of whipped icing on top of the Kaju Katli layer. This acts as glue to hold the top layer of cake in place and prevents it from shifting. Put the second layer of cake on top. Do a crumb coat. If you don't know what a crumb coat is, it's a thin layer of icing that's applied all over. The excess icing is removed and the crumb coat is allowed to dry on the cake in the refrigerator for 15 minutes. This step gives a clean, smooth finish to the final icing. After 15 minutes, put a generous layer of icing on top and sides of the cake. Use the back of a spoon to get vertical lines on the sides of the cake. Use the 2D Wilton tip to pipe some flowers on the edge of the cake. I always get nervous while decorating cakes and forgot to turn on my camera while piping the flowers. Cut some Kaju Katli in half and use it to decorate the top of the cake. Sprinkle some chopped pistachios and some dried rose petals to complete the look. I made this cake to celebrate reaching 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So thank you to each and every one of you for supporting me in my journey. If you like this recipe and would like me to keep bringing such similar recipes, please support me by sharing and subscribing to Aachal's Food, Fitness, Beauty and more. Thanks for watching till we meet again with the next recipe. Thank you.